United States President Donald Trump has ordered the deployment of military troops to Portland, Oregon, saying they will protect federal immigration facilities against what he called domestic terrorists. In a social media post, Trump said he directed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to secure the city and authorize them to use full force if necessary. The move sparked fierce pushback from local leaders. Portland's mayor Keith Wilson has said there was no need for troops and warned the president against perpetrating violence. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has also rejected the deployment, insisting there was no insurrection or threat to national security. Let's listen in to what she said.
Portland's doing just fine. And I made that very clear to the president this morning. Our city is a far cry from the war-ravaged community that he has posted about on social media. And I conveyed that directly to him. That we got this, we are good, we are doing fine. And I also said to him, we have to be careful not to respond to outdated media coverage or misinformation that's out there. We know what's happening in our own city, and we are doing just fine.
Well, the decision comes despite data showing violent crime in Portland has dropped sharply this year, including a 51% fall in homicides. The Pentagon has yet to confirm whether the deployment will involve National Guard or active duty troops. Meanwhile, Homeland Security officials have defended the move, saying ICE facilities need stronger protection amidst recent protests and attacks. Well, Thomas Porteous is joining us live from the United States of America for more on this story. How has this move really panned out there, Thomas, in the U.S., with President Trump ordering troops now to be deployed to Oregon? How are people in Oregon reacting to this move, and what prompted this decision by the American president?
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you here today. This comes after a flurry of orders, mainly through two Democratic cities from the U.S. president. It all started earlier on this year with Los Angeles and a mass troop deployment. Donald Trump said that crime is on the rise and therefore that these troops are necessary. Much objection to Gavin Newsom, the California governor, of course, the mayor of the city and the entire local government. That then led to even Marines being seen on the streets of Los Angeles. So this move in Portland is very much part of a pattern. Then, of course, it went on to Memphis, where we saw more of the same. The National Guard was also deployed. And then Washington, D.C., where Donald Trump claimed that you can't even go out for dinner without encountering violent crime. This came also despite of plummeting homicide ratings and crime ratings, and also in Washington, D.C., when these troops were deployed, they were mainly spotted in tourist hotspots, including around the Capitol buildings, etc. And many people criticized and said this is more of a show of power more than a real crime deterrent, as troops weren't in these places where crime was occurring. Donald Trump has threatened further cities as well, Chicago being a main one, where he said we're going in to these cities in a show of force. He has cited Antifa as a threat in Portland, of course, something and a group which isn't per se an organized group. He's declared it a national terrorist organization, which is, of course, unprecedented. Donald Trump often likes to cite Antifa as a cause of violence and political discourse across the region. Of course, a left-wing group, which is present at many right-wing protests in America. But of course, this will just play into the ever-growing bipartisan rhetoric inside here in the United States.
Absolutely. But, also we are picking up reactions from on ground in the state where he's planning this for. The Oregon governor has come out with a strong statement, and so has the Portland mayor against this move. They believe it's unnecessary, and they're also fearful of more polarization if this indeed is done and implemented on ground in their state.
Well, of course, this is a unprecedented move. This has never been used before. Donald Trump is using a very, very old law here in putting these troops into these cities. Usually they require a governor level approval to order a federal guard in, like is happening in Oregon, or is going to happen in Oregon. However, Donald Trump is overriding the Democratic lower leadership, and he's saying, no, I decide what happens here, and he is deciding to assert his dominance over these Democratic-run cities in a show of force, much to the dismay, of course, to the governors, the mayors of all the cities that these troops now roam the streets of.
All right, we're getting more news, in fact, that we're tracking this hour from the U.S. United States President Donald Trump has said on Sunday that there is a